Jesus said to the disciples, "You know that among the Gentiles, those whom they recognize as their rulers lord it over them, and the great ones are tyrants over them. But it is not so among you. But whoever wishes to become great among you must be your servant. And whoever wishes to be first among you must be slave of all. For the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many." Funny, huh?
That is funny.
Let us pray. Almighty God, you have called us to labor in your vineyard, and without you we can do nothing. Grant your gracious presence at this meeting, that what we will do build up your whole church, that your Holy Spirit govern and direct us, that we may consult together peacefully, pleasing you with all that we say and do. Through Jesus Christ, our Savior and Lord.
Amen.
Oh, here's some correspondence.
No correspondence.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes and the reports, please.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Did you stub your toe or what?
Although the bill was at aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
What?
You gotta mix that up. Alright.
Is it just straight sour at the bottom of his cup? Or
No.
what?
Alright. Scheduling our next council. Scheduling our next council meeting. Right now it is scheduled for the Sunday after D-Day.
Let's go to next week.
The 23rd.
Thank you.
She will be. I will be amazed if she shows up to church.
Any problems with the 23rd of August? Alright, let us have August 23rd as our next scheduled council meeting. Alright, we had our special meeting last Sunday, discussion about the one church experiment. Any feedback now that you've had about a week to kind of process? Any feedback, concerns, questions? Or any questions that I can move on to Nathan or?
Which other congregations are we going to reach out to?
I have sent out an email this past week to the pastors of Messiah and St. Paul's, Pastor Sarah Moore and Christy Carnac respectively. I'm waiting to hear back from them. Sarah's on vacation right now. Christy, I'm sure, is just busy, and I think I sent it out on Thursday.
Where's Messiah?
Messiah is right off of 20. It's that big
By station.
stone church, just a little bit past Walgreens before the bridge.
Yeah. Then St. Paul? Sorry.
St. Paul is down in Jefferson,
Jefferson, that's what I thought. That one I was like, I think I know that one.
just off the main roads.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who right now is leading that.
Bethany.
No. So that is,
That's probably a phone call to the main office, figure out who to talk to.
yeah, probably the council president would be my guess.
Yeah.
If they have a council president, which I'm sure they do. But yeah, so I have reached out to the two pastors. Right now, I'm not reaching out to them saying that we're interested in the one church experiment. Right now, I'm reaching out just saying, hey, let's try to set up something monthly together where we could talk about our churches and whatnot, and see where and if how we can supplement each other.
You didn't mention the one.
I did not mention the one church experiment. Okay. So next steps on this is to continuing reaching out. I'm guessing next steps on this is to continue to reach out to other leaders in other churches. If you know people in these other churches, by all means, that's to start having conversations.
They just have to be one that's in communion with the Lutheran Church, right?
Yes. So yes, a little bit of background on that. partnership with a number of other denominations. We are in full communion partnership with the Episcopal Church, with Presbyterian Church USA, PCUSA, with the United Methodist Church, not the Methodist Church, has to be United Methodist Church. We are also in full communion partnership with the UCC Church, the United Church of Christ, and the Reformed Church and the Moravian Church. So what does full communion mean? We are able to preach and preside at the altar for either of these churches, and likewise. Just because we are in full communion with the Episcopal Church and the Presbyterian Church does not necessarily mean that the Episcopal and the Presbyterian churches are in full communion, for example. I don't think they are, but
Just because we are with them doesn't mean they are with each other.
correct.
Right, but you don't want to necessarily reach out to churches that we aren't in the community with.
Right. So it would be challenging, I would say, to do a one church experiment with like the Catholic Church or the Church of Christ or the Church of God or any Pentecostal church or the Baptist Church. I think it would be pretty challenging in order to do this kind of an experiment with those kind of churches.
Okay.
But certainly any ecumenical partner I don't imagine a problem.
Okay.
Do we have Episcopal and Presbyterian in?
So yes, in Kingsville, there's a Presbyterian
Oh,
Church,
yeah.
PCUSA, and in Ashtabula, St. Peter's Episcopal Church.
And there's Eastside Presbyterian by the Brayton High School, middle school, sorry.
I only know about the one in Kingsville.
The one on Route 84?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
that one out.
I'm actually got a call into her
Okay.
secretary, because they have no connection.
Yes.
Okay.
Again, we are not calling them necessarily to say, hey, you want to be part of this one church experiment. I think the big thing that Nathan tried to put out there was get these relationships building, get some kind of a basis, and then start moving into this organized, covenanted, word today.
So they like us first.
One, yeah. Every now. Okay.
You know April.
I do know April.
Yeah. I just wondered.
I do.
Okay.
I do know April.
I don't.
She is the pastor of UCC,
Yeah.
First Congregational UCC here in Conneaut. Now, if Rusty was still there, no problem.
Right.
April's there now. All right. Any other discussion points? This will be a recurring topic. Try to keep it on our plates and in the forefront of our minds. Okay.
Good.
Good. Is that later?
I do have a question. I do have a question. I've already voiced my concern before. Are we going to try to give ourselves a time frame to get this keep growing? Because I think the longer we stretch things out, the less enthusiastic we become.
I agree. So as my communications to these pastors, I'm also gonna gauge if they want to do like a monthly kind of get together. That's one thing. But I'll gauge at that point and say if they're not even interested in doing just a monthly get together as pastors, there's nothing.
Okay.
And I think too, like you said, we can't just jump in, we do have to
Right.
take slow steps, we can't, I mean, I understand your point, but we can't go too fast.
We can't go too fast, but we can't go too slow. Because it sounds like the churches that are starting to come on, it was like a matter of 4 or 5 months before, they went pretty quick.
I think those relationships may have already been established
Okay,
between the churches prior,
Right.
which makes a difference.
Yes. Yes. And I know the Youngstown churches have issues, are seeing issues. And it's because they were kind of working together and now it's kind of
called an experiment for a reason.
Yes, this is also why you said you know. So,
Yeah, okay.
but that's why it's also gonna be on a recurring point on the whole business, so that we can keep it moving. It's assuming the council, we didn't really decide whether or not to do this or not, so, if we don't think that this would be something that we wanna do,
I think it's worth exploring.
Yeah. Motion to make an official vote?
no,
I think,
Okay.
yeah, you wanna go, okay.
Okay.
So you want your motion?
Work towards learning more about the one church experiment and see if it's a fit for us.
Okay.
And take steps to pursue it. I don't know.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
I don't think it's motion worthy yet, because it's too generic, there's nothing to act on, other than that we're just, at this point, exploring it, and I think once those relationships are established, and we feel like we wanna move forward, then we can start putting motions in place and firm plans in place.
Excellent.
Could be a motion,
Oh, that's
pursue
fine.
relationships with fellow churches.
Oh, that's not,
Established.
you don't.
And yeah.
Sorry, I'm pursuing relationships with these other churches, it's my call.
No more, we don't.
Okay. Great, moving on, stained glass update, Stacey, do you have anything for the stained glass update?
I do, so they did come and pick up all the cartons that they had left in the crates, whatever, the narthex. They did get back to Willett Hauser, got confirmation from Caitlin on that, just this past week. We also, Pastor put together a potential design, which didn't quite fit in the space, but it's a concept, and that's what I sent to her and said, if you can get this concept in the space that we gave you, that would be the ideal solution. So she said, thank you, I'll make sure to keep in touch, because I hadn't heard anything since we sent it back, and it's still with their design teams right now, so she was passing along that concept. Wait here. So I will try and keep touching base at least every 2 weeks if I don't hear from her.
That's with those extra pieces, with the one that's here now, isn't that supposed to have like a coating on it?
So we have to decide whether we even want that coating or not, because in talking to the technicians that came and picked up the crates, he said where it's located, you don't really need it, it's not exposed to the elements, that's what that coating is supposed to protect you from, is when you have the glass installed in the windows and it's on the outside.
Okay. I thought it was more to protect the glass from like
No.
people touching it.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. He said, I'm not sure why they even put that in their quote, and Caitlin said the same thing.
But did we pay for that?
We did, and that will be adjusted accordingly.
Okay.
They know,
Okay.
unless we decide we want it. If we decide we want it, they'll put it in.
Okay.
but if, it makes perfect sense if it's not exposed to the elements. I don't see anybody going up to the window.
Well, didn't they say that the coating kind of like dulls it a little
It
bit?
does, it dulls it. It's not nearly as bright and
Yeah.
vibrant and
Which
pretty.
is why they don't put it on the outside, because, yeah.
Right.
So that's it.
Okay.
Thank you, Stacy.
Moving on, then, any other old business? That Jen and I could think of? Okay, new business. I'll let Jen take over this one.
Great. Thanks. So when I was putting all of these binders together for everybody, I happened to notice on like the very last page, it lists our motto and our mission statement, and it's got blank spaces for what our value statement and vision statement are. So we don't have those set up, and I was like, maybe we should. Especially going forward with, at least along the process of doing the one church experiment, it would probably be a good idea to have those in place and know what our values and vision are for our church, to see if they align with the one church experiment. I did a little bit of digging, and if you look at your last page, you will see this little pyramid. It's actually a bottom-up thing. So you're supposed to start with a motto, and then from there you go on to your values, which you can build on your vision, and then the mission statement. So I figured
Conneaut.
Yeah, it's something,
Oh, that's it,
No, it's in the notes.
yeah.
It's in the minutes.
It is in the minutes, I gotta explain that.
I can't quote it, but
It is where all are welcome, or a Christ-centered church where all are welcome. We kind of have two.
Why do you have two?
It's on, where was that? It's the last page. Policies, right? It's
I think it
written in
was-
here as like 2024's motto was where all are welcome, and in 2026 got changed to a Christ-centered church where all are welcome, but Pastor said he doesn't recall, and nor do I, ever being voted upon that change.
No.
Right?
No, I think that was the pastor's choice.
Oh, that was the pastor's
And when
choice.
I was writing this, I noticed that we don't have a motto, so I put it in. I put where we're always welcome when we did on the t-shirts. And then in 2076, it changed it.
Yeah, because I think prior to that, we didn't have a motto.
Okay.
Pretty
So-
sure.
So the question is, do you like our current motto? Let's start there. And,
well, I think there's a difference in where all are welcome and a Christ-centered church where all are welcomed. Because the second one, where you say all are welcome, that's up to us as a congregation to make sure that that happens, not just, the way I interpret it is the first part of it where all are welcome. I mean, that's, anybody can come to our church, but the second one is, and you will be welcomed because people will reach out to you. That's what it means to me.
Okay.
So, I like that all are welcomed, you know, because it allows everybody to be involved.
there are some, on the back side of that very last page, the very, very last page, page 10, there are some, examples of church mottos.
Which ones?
So, like, the first little paragraph says what a church motto is: concise expressions of faith, community, mission, designed to inspire, welcome, and reflect our values. Which again, this kind of starts before the values. It's a weird pyramid thing, but, because you kind of have to know a little bit before, but anyway, different categories versus inspiration and welcoming, creative and catchy, mission focused. If anybody likes these, has any suggestions that might be inspired by these.
Is this something that the council should pick? I mean, I realize you just assigned it before because we didn't even have one. Or is this?
This is something that we work on, and then we
Okay.
bring it to the congregation.
That's what I figured, but I just wondered.
We did find in the Constitution, do you remember where it was? Let's see.
Oh.
We did find the thing that actually says, that it is our job to lead it. There it is. It is section 12.04A. To lead, this is under, congregational council. The duties of the congregational council shall include the following: to lead this congregation in stating its mission, to do long-range planning, to set goals and priorities, and to evaluate its activities in light of its mission and goals. So it kind of falls, in that range.
I like, because of how we've kind of gone towards, like, really, the food pantry is our main thing we're doing out in the community. And I think it shows, our faith in action. I think that tells more than we're all welcome.
Yeah, I kind
I
of like
think
it.
it encompasses more, and then we can expand it, but
I kind of like faith in action as a motto. It doesn't, it's not too, it's kind of broad enough that it doesn't pinpoint to just one ministry, because, but shows that we're active in our faith and our mission.
options to think about for next month, or do we want to narrow down to 3 right now to take to the congregation, or?
So I'm glad you brought that up, because they did list a timeline on here as well to
Okay.
discuss. At my timeline in this is kind of thinking that at this meeting, I'm introducing the motto. We brainstorm a little here, we brainstorm a little at home to give it some time. When we come back at the next one meeting, we vote on a couple, or choose a couple, to present to the congregational meeting in December. So at the next one, we will be discussing what a value statement is, choose a couple values, brainstorm a couple values, so that the meeting after that, we have some value statements to bring to the congregation, and then
Okay.
at that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So the goal is by December, we're ready to.
So in theory, we should be ready to go by December's congregational meeting and present these at that meeting for them to vote on.
English class.
And- So,
It's okay, it's like-
so yeah, by December's congregational meeting, they should be able to vote on a motto, a value statement, vision statement, and mission statement.
And we're gonna have them vote on that during the meeting, congregational meeting?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, because.
That's how it works.
What?
That's how it works, and
Oh.
it has to be through a called congregational meeting.
Yeah, we're not gonna have people voting out in the narthex, like, are we?
That's up to council on how you wanna gauge input. Now, when we did it for the mission statement, that did not work.
No,
You left
I
that one
was
up on
super
accident.
disappointed on that.
Yeah.
We left the one, that should have been that should have been, this is our old, we're looking for
No
something.
voting.
So that should have been voted on and off.
So this is, we're gonna,
Action.
the congregation does get to choose mission, values, and vision
Yeah.
statement as well as the motto. And how council wants to gauge input from the congregation, because you're all representatives of the congregation.
Right.
You all should be talking to the congregation as representatives. That's up to you.
Gotcha.
What if, sorry.
I was gonna say, we could announce to the congregation that we are going to be discussing this at the council meetings, because all members are welcome to the council meetings, right?
They are.
And invite them that if they have suggestions for the motto, that they come,
Or they submit it, they can submit.
or that they can submit one. And, by a deadline, and that it will be decided at the next,
Congregational meeting.
at our next council meeting, we'll pick from here and then go from there and so.
well, I was gonna suggest, whatever committees that you're working with, I know this morning at Altar Guild, you know, when we were cleaning up after communion, I said to the 3 people that were there, I'm getting ready to go to council meeting, is there anything you want me to bring up? And I've just started doing that, I mean, I hadn't been doing that before, but a month or so ago, or a couple of weeks ago, I had mentioned to them at Altar Guild that we were having Pastor Kraus come, and we were gonna be talking about the idea of, you know, getting together with other congregations, just sharing, maybe possibly sharing a pastor. And they were very interested in finding out about that, and they've asked me that for a couple of weeks, you know, what ended up happening. And I said, well, we're still discussing that.
Yeah, it's a process,
Yeah.
a long process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that anybody who's on a committee that is meeting, and the summer's, you know, pretty slow, we should probably be asking if there's any, we've got a council meeting coming up, are there any issues that, you know, you want to have brought up?
Well,
Absolutely.
and I just went to random people this Sunday, 8:30 and 11 o'clock. What was your take on last week's sermon, last week's service?
Oh,
Yeah, now I'm glad you said that, because that's old business we should probably have discussed.
Yes.
All right,
But we'll get back to that when we're
Yeah,
done
we'll
with
go back
this.
in just a minute.
But, yeah.
So, okay. Yeah. Well, any, something I was gonna say, but I can't remember anymore. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I want you to, there's something that I want you to be very careful about when we're thinking about these, mottos and the visions and the values and the mission. What I don't think we should do is do these working towards the end goal of being in the one church experiment. We need to figure out what our values are,
Agreed.
not so that we can go into this one church experiment, but so we know what our values and our vision and our is. Again, if it comes up that our values and our vision is not the one church experiment, then
It's okay.
that's fine. But we need to know that. And so it can be a parallel train and tracks, but we just choose merit.
Right.
We're identifying who
Right.
we are,
Yeah.
not making us fit, not making the one church our entire church's personality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Figure out, yes, exactly. So,
Not making us fit into it.
But it will
Yeah.
help with the one
It
church
will help.
spirit.
It will
If
help.
we know who we are.
If we know who we are and how we'll fit with, if we know who we are, we'll know how we'll fit into the system.
Absolutely.
But we are not the system.
Absolutely. So,
Okay.
so it sounds like, think about,
Couple
mottos,
Mhm.
couple, 3 mottos, and we'll bring it back for old business next meeting. Alright. Going back to old business, go ahead.
Oh, so for those of us that were able to attend last week's service, that was very unique, right, compared to what we normally have. I was just curious if you've gotten any feedback from any of the members that were there, what you thought about it. I mean, I have my opinions, but I really would like to hear other people's opinions.
So I did talk to several people. I've had pros and cons.
I would expect that. That's good.
So, I think the surprise kind of threw a lot of people off, especially the 11 o'clock service. They didn't know where to sit, because they all had their little pews. So that kind of, well, you can either, because, Richard Salino said he didn't like it, because, he said certain people like to sit with certain people, we couldn't do that.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So that, positive, was very informative. They appreciated the speakers that came, and I think the majority of them, well, maybe 50-50, understood we weren't actually talking about the food pantry, we were talking about if we don't keep the doors open,
Right.
the food pantry is not going to stay open.
That's where I was gonna go with that. The speakers, and they were heartfelt stories, so that was a positive in my mind. The last lady who rambled a lot, she had a good story to tell, she just took her a little while to get there. But they all talked about how the food pantry impacted their lives. I'm like, no, this is about the church.
Right.
The food pantry is a mission of our church,
Right.
and it's not the only mission of our church. And that message did not come across very clearly at the service. So in a planning perspective, we of those that knew this was happening on the executive
We should have
council,
done
we
more.
should have done a little bit better on making sure that that was
I-
clear.
Well, the ones that I
I
talked
blame myself for
Well,
that.
me too. So, I think that, I guess it should have been, presented in a way, it was putting the two things together. So if you paid attention to what our what Rachel was speaking about, you understood why we were talking about the food pantry. Because Rachel's saying, if we do this, we don't do something, we're not gonna have any money. So if we don't have any money, we're not gonna have a
And
food
she
pantry.
came out and flat out said that, and
Right.
and I coached her in the back a little bit as I was listening to the stories. I'm like, you need to make sure you say it.
Right.
It's very good she said that because the charts were unreadable, and I was pretty close to the screen.
There was handouts in the back.
Yeah, but we should have handed those out to people.
I didn't want them to have it at the beginning of the service.
Yeah, because they would have.
They would have just been sitting there going through them and not paying attention.
And they would have checked out if they were like, finance stuff,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those are still in the narthex, by the way, if anybody asks.
Okay.
So like I said, I did have, Susan Tam's daughter, Allison, came up to me. She goes, I wanna give more money to the food pantry. I said, well, this is not what this is about. So I explained it, she goes, that makes perfectly good sense. So, some got it, some didn't, so.
Yeah, because that's what came out of it for me, is now more people are gonna want to donate to the food pantry. And that's great. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
But
But if the doors on the church close, it doesn't matter how much they donate to the food pantry.
that's correct. So, we have another thing planned to do a
Chris Brzezinski to do an electrical inspection for the church building as well as Detroit Street. While he was doing his thing, I was just kind of hanging out. He ended up finishing, and I decided to stick around and help unload a shipment truck that came on that Friday. And it was eye-opening. I mean, I see the food pantry on Mondays, but I really did not see it, did not understand what all we get and how much food we get for the food pantry. And it was stacked. I mean, there was food everywhere. I was finding hard time to find places for butter in the fridges, that kind of stuff.
Should've seen the cheese yesterday.
So that was very enlightening to me. And then on Saturday, or after Saturday, on that Sunday, last Sunday, I looked at the food pantry again after that Saturday's open day, and it was gone. A lot of it was gone. A lot of the stuff that both Mark, Nicholas, Michelle, I think that was it.
There was that.
Yeah, that we stacked on that Friday was gone. So that was very enlightening to me. I haven't been here on Fridays because I tend to kind of protect my Fridays, but I just happened to be with Chris Brzezinski. So what that showed me was we are going to, I am at least, going to start filming everything that goes through the whole food pantry process. We're going to film coming a shipment on a Friday and unloading it. We're going to film food pantry day. We are going to film free lunch day. We are going to film Nick's closet day. All of this is going to be then put together into a short film for the congregational meeting in February.
Good.
So this is why we need to keep the doors open.
How many, people, families, whatever, are you servicing, say, in a week or a month?
Okay, so last month, we served 208 families. That's just the pantry. Lunches, we're doing about 200 lunches a week.
So is that 208 unique families, or is it?
That's 208 individual families.
That's what I was curious about.
Twice a month, but the count is, so Saturday, because we've only been open on Saturdays. We had 46, 47 families come through in 3 hours.
Mind you,
It's a lot.
these families range in size. Very few families are actually just like the standard
Come
four.
every, is there,
We're
is there
at-
every 2 weeks they can come?
Sometimes they come once a month, sometimes they come twice a month. We're getting more and more families. So I think of that 40-some people families we saw Saturday, we had 6 brand new families that we've never served before.
Okay.
And each month, we're getting more and more new families. I can tell you, come October, we're gonna see that number jump. Because the new SNAP rules are going into place. So September, October, yeah. The new SNAP laws are gonna go into place. So there's gonna be requirements for certain age group. So they're not gonna get their food for a while, they're not gonna get their assistance, so they're probably gonna be hitting us up pretty good.
The other thing that will change is in October or around October, we'll start serving hot lunch. at the
Yes, that's a totally different,
That's a
Yeah.
different beast.
Yes.
Another question too, do these people have to, they don't have to register with you, say like with income requirements or anything?
we cannot ask their income. All I can do
You
is.
cannot ask it?
They can,
Okay. So it's not like the produce lines, like I'm not sure at
okay,
Kingsville or up here?
so all I can do is say, do you make this much money?
Oh, okay.
Okay, we are not supposed to, we are not supposed to be asking for income. Right, we're not supposed to be asking for your bank statements or anything like that, we're not.
Right.
Somebody comes to you and says, I say, do you make this much?
Are their names on the computer?
We have a database.
A very ancient, slow computer, but they're in there.
We do,
Are they, is it combined with, say, Plymouth and
Yes.
Resource and?
yes, go to, I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care if you go to 4 weeks. That's up to you.
Yeah, right.
You know, we don't ask for proof of income. If somebody walks in there and says they don't have an ID, that's okay too. Or they don't wanna give your address, we just mark them as homeless. So it's pretty user friendly. We do make them put their initials in the paperwork that says you understand what you're telling me is the truth, you understand it is a felony to lie on this paper, yep, okay. Out the door you go, wait in line for your food.
Threat of federal prosecution keeps many of them honest.
I've had
But, so as part of this recording is gonna be to see all that, to help answer all these questions. And again, it is to go back to the whole idea of, we need to keep the church doors open, because this is what we're helping out with. I think the last couple of years showing the numbers, were okay, but until people actually see it, like me, they don't understand it.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you want help with editing the video or anything, I learned a lot from working at the art center and mentoring under Zach, because he does all their PR operations.
Excellent.
So if you need help, I can probably.
So all
If
got
I
is
don't
ID.
know, I call him.
Okay.
Okay, so that's our next plan, is to try to get this done and be able to show it and say, this is why. This is why this church is important to this community, to our county. And you all need to understand, we don't just service people in Conneaut.
Right.
We service anybody in Ashland County and into Springfield.
Something I clarified with some comments this morning, they were saying, well, shouldn't you be saying a prayer with each person that drives up and you give the box to? They said, they don't drive up and us give them a box. They come in
No,
and,
that's my department.
well, that's what their
That's
view
true.
of the food pantry was, because that's what they knew from other places.
Yeah.
They just drive up and would pop a box in their car. I said, no, that's not what happens
So
here.
actually,
And you're not allowed to really pray with them.
well, actually, what we have done, because Pastor Kraus mentions about we should have a prayer station, or available, I can never say, I'll pray with you, or I can't do that. But we put up signs all over the food pantry, says, would you like me to pray, would you like a prayer? Ask me. We got them all over the food pantry, so their invitation's there. I can't personally ask them, but if they come to me and say, will you pray with me, I will do it.
Can we put a prayer in, like the lunches, like every time we go?
I am
to lunches?
against that entirely,
Okay, that's
because,
fine.
just because, yes, we get people who say God bless you and all that, but I feel like the works, it speaks for itself. We shouldn't need to or want to make them feel like some of them are being forced with the religion to get their food. Because I know inevitably there will be some who feel like, oh, I have to be doing this and all this prayers now to get this food.
That could happen.
I think it depends what you put in there, but that's just my 2
Right.
cents.
It's a very fine line that we have to walk.
I get it.
I like keeping it as this is the service we provide. You're here at church. If you want the faith, you are welcome to come on in and do it. If I want it, I like it being the door's here. You come if you want it. I will not make you have to read it or force it on you if you don't want it.
We have gentlemen coming Saturday and talk to the pastor. He didn't come today, but
Right.
my talk to the pastor.
But so when we had that service last week, because they were, many of the speeches were on the fly, it seemed. So they were different between the 8:30 and the 11. So if you didn't go to both, you could have missed something. So at the 8:30, Mila spoke about how, when she was the fourth presenter, in case I
Yes.
didn't. She, at the 8:30 service, at her point, she didn't realize that we were in the financial trouble until she heard the speaker. And, so she said during hers at the 8:30 service that she was gonna start coming to our church. And she was here today and she brought her boyfriend. So, because she didn't know that we were in financial trouble. And she's like, I wanna support you the best way that I can, so now she is coming here. And she's following
And that's
through.
powerful.
Yeah. Some of the other feedback I got was they were glad that they didn't know because they wouldn't have come. or that they were glad because they knew other people wouldn't have come. And some people had mentioned that they didn't get the connection until you summed it up at the end, which I think at the 8:30.
I did better.
Yeah, you did better at the 11 than the 8:30 because 8:30 you seemed more choked up, but the 11 you made that very concise summary after Mila's speech. So I think my notes were generally positive from what I've gotten the feedback from. So also people liked. Oh no, that was the other service. Never mind. I was thinking the other special service when the bishop was here.
Oh, okay.
But never mind.
Well, we can talk about
That was
that.
a-
That was after council last time, so.
Yeah,
Well,
they liked the 10 o'clock service and all of us
Okay.
being together. But you covered that in the echo.
And that's like 3 paragraphs worth.
We'll do that again for the church picnic.
Yeah, and
We're pounding that into their heads
Yeah.
multiple times, just like today.
Yeah.
So. Alright, good. Any other comments about the service? Excellent. Alright. Moving on, back to new business. Cintas proposal. So we had a representative from Cintas come and give us a spiel about their stuff and whatnot. Sorry, Faith. In case you don't know, Cintas is a company that provides cleaning supplies, toilet paper, paper towels, trash bags, rugs, bag drugs. So they formulated a proposal just for this church. As part of their proposal is to install some of their own equipment, which includes paper towel dispenser, soap dispenser, toilet paper dispenser, all their stuff, and that would all be free. And
As long as they can supply it under a contracted term.
Yeah.
probably.
Definitely. I can already tell you that,
Yeah.
we use Cintas at work. I
So
can-
I've used Cintas at every place
Yeah.
I work.
Yes. So Cintas is around, and obviously in all the mats and everything. Now, how they work is they would build us up to a level. Let's say 4 boxes of toilet paper. Okay. They would only replace and charge them for whatever we use. So it would be we use 1 box and they replace 1 box, then they only charge 1 box. If we use 2, et cetera. They build up to.
But we originally paid for the 4.
But we originally paid for the 4. So there's a lot of
And then
upfront
we just
costs
paid for what?
for what we use.
Yeah.
There's a lot of upfront costs to this.
There's a lot of.
Upfront costs. The one thing that they will always do is every month come and replace the mats. They provide those high traffic mats, a lot like what we have, but especially the mat in the airlock in the narthex would be a little bit different. That is designed more to catch the rain and the snow and the sleet and the salt, especially during the wintertime.
Yeah, they don't.
Is it one of the ones in the future?
Again,
No,
speaking
well,
of
they could
standards.
provide those, but those are additional.
They're better probably than what we have, but they don't work.
So that's just giving them the spiel. They also provide all the chemicals for the mop buckets, cleaning glass, and a special one just for restrooms. I don't want to hit it, but their proposal price to start, and this would be what their price would be if we ran out of everything every month, would be just under $400, $396.79. There's no service charge for them to come out here because we're a nonprofit, so the only charge that we would incur every month, at least, it's not including any supplies, would be about $40 for the mats.
So, all that being said,
All that being said,
happy
we
I mean, cause first pass, you said if we used everything, which we probably $400 a month, or just under.
That'd be like
So that's plus $4,800 a year,
Yes,
plus $40 a month for the mats.
yes.
I got that
Well,
right.
that would actually include the mats too.
That includes the mats?
Yeah,
Alright,
so
so
the
about
mats-
$4,800 a year.
Yes.
And
What's our,
plus we pay rags, brooms, and mops right now to do the cleaning.
Does the cleaning company we have, or doesn't provide their own chemicals?
We supply them.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, good question.
Um,
Go ahead, I'll hear the numbers.
okay, so, I only looked back for a year's time. So I've got 2026, 2025 through June,
Okay.
July-ish. So, in that time, we bought floor cleaner. A case of 4 cost us about $111. We bought mop heads for $15. Trash bags, we go through about every 2 months, and spend about $25 to $30 a month.
Okay.
Sometimes we double up on that and use a little bit more, so
Do we have an overall number?
I didn't add them, I thought he was gonna do that.
I got it
that's why
right
you
here.
can't leave it to Pastor.
I know. So,
I feel like we're missing something as you're reading it off. Not,
yeah,
Paper towels,
paper towels, we spend about $30 every, 3 months.
36, 9.
Toilet paper?
And toilet paper is an inaccuracy because we've had some donations. But
so when you ran, I'm assuming these are all out of Shepherd staff.
I actually went through, because Shepherd staff, we bought these from Amazon and Walmart. So to find them through there, we'd have to go through all of the key bank
No, you
things.
just run the janitorial supplies line item in a budget report.
Uh,
It sums it all up for you.
No, I went through, Walmart and Amazon and
God bless you.
found them all there. So,
Because that's tedious.
it was.
That's why I think we're missing something too. I can run that report.
Okay,
chemicals, when you're talking chemicals, is that the floor cleaner?
Yes.
yeah, that was the floor cleaner.
And that's, you ordered that
I ordered that back in February
of
and
last year, or this year?
this year,
And we haven't had to order any more yet.
correct.
So that's probably what, a year's supply?
I would say that's probably a year's supply.
Quick question in my mind, if we want to put just the rugs, it'd be $40 a month?
Yeah,
Okay.
They probably wouldn't come out
they
just.
probably wouldn't know.
They're gonna wanna
They have, I mean, they have a business, I get it.
Yeah. I don't see us spending $4,800 a month in supplies.
If you guys want, I can run the GL report and give you the whole sum and caboodle, less, rice, balloons, and mops.
I feel like that can be solved.
And I can run that for 5 years and average it out.
And then what, email it to us?
Yeah, and then email it to the council. Is that okay?
I think
That
that,
way we're making a decision based on.
What was Centos's deal?
$40 a month for mats, paper towels.
That was just the starter one, right? Or is that every month?
That would be just a startup, and if we used everything that he gave us.
Using
Every
absolutely
month.
everything.
So how much does it cost for their toilet paper and their paper towels and their individually and their trash bags?
However much you use, yeah, I don't know.
oh, it
I
tells you
mean-
how much a case is, it should
Oh.
tell you, shouldn't it?
Yes.
Can I look at it?
That's like me after roofers.
Yes, when you're done, Michelle, when you pass this.
Yeah,
I can put it side by side. We'll just put two comparison columns.
I just wanted to bring you to, you So I'm gonna postpone that until we get the decision, or, I'm tired.
The data.
The data.
The data, yes.
I'm starting to lose it. Okay. Started.
Yeah.
Moving on. This also follows a little bit of last Sunday's service. It's scheduling a special congregational meeting. We have funds through November?
If we
October,
continue,
I thought.
no, hold on. If we continue pulling at the $1,290 a week that we are pulling, it will last till November 5th now. We were pulling at $1,500 a week. That's where the October 4th number came from that Rachel presented during the meeting. But I can't guarantee that, right? So I got payroll coming up again this week. I have a feeling I'll pull more than $1,250 or $1,290.
Does that include, just donations to the general fund, like collections on
Offerings.
offerings?
And hall rental and, any other miscellaneous
How about
income.
smash burgers and stuff? I mean,
So
does that
Smash
help?
Burgers right now has been, some of it went into the general fund,
Mhm,
and some of it's sitting in the savings account.
okay,
But I can pull, I wanted to wait till some expenses came in, because we have to pay for the supplies,
right,
to see how much I could actually pull.
okay.
You know, when we talked about part of wage committee or whatever will go into the general fund or whatever, like, did we get money, say, from the parking?
We did.
Yeah.
20%, and Michelle was generous,
Oh.
so 20% went to the general fund, $140. But right, these fundraisers, unless you
Right.
make $10,000 in a fundraiser, aren't gonna impact our gap.
Right.
It still only, it just drops.
Do we want to become the church that has to do fundraiser after fundraiser after fundraiser?
We're already the church that has to do fundraiser.
I mean,
Just don't do it.
Well, right now our fundraisers are because of events that already happened.
I mean,
The Smash Burgers seem to be doing well.
Yeah.
They're very popular.
You will be
Pretty
getting-
popular and very, and seem to be doing okay, which is great, but we can't sustain it.
You will be getting.
No,
a break here.
I'm
know.
exhausted after my nights.
no kidding,
That's why she's dragging me out next
So,
Monday.
this Monday,
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
That's technically the next Monday.
Oh my goodness.
We
get a
big
That's a lot.
so,
Morning, I smack back.
That's why I say no.
Alright.
so,
Next.
we need to decide whether or not we need to schedule a special congregational meeting
I
to
think,
discuss the financial aspects of the church.
I think we do.
Yes.
That's my opinion. I'm only one person though.
Are you
I
making-
think we
are you
do.
making
I
a
think-
motion?
I think that we need to be straightforward. I mean,
We need to find a way.
we need to say, this is it.
Well, it seems like in that special congregational meeting, we have a choice, and that one of those choices includes the congregation needing to vote on something. So we should probably have one so that they can vote, right, on whether to extend the,
So it allows to pool more than the 30% of the
Right.
budget.
Right.
yeah, because that was one of the short-term options, correct?
But I think this is getting to,
Use words.
No, I think it's going to get something.
so what I'm afraid of is, I think part of the issue that we're having within the congregation, this is retaliation because we are using the endowment fund.
They voted on it.
But there are people in this congregation that have said, because we are using the endowment fund, I'm not either giving or I'm cutting my offering in half.
I've heard that as well.
Well, that's counterintuitive. So that's the nicest word I can come up with.
It's,
We need,
I was trying to be Christian about it. It's counterintuitive.
it is.
It is.
So we have got to,
We need
the
partial
congregation has to, I mean, yeah, they
Use
will,
supplement, not replace. Supplement, not replace.
we need to hammer that home. And if we keep supplementing, the church is gonna call.
I was gonna say, I feel like it was very clear when we voted on it at the time that it was to supplement, not replace. I remember, I think you said those exact words.
So can we put this statement out there? Do you want Christmas in this church?
Well,
what is the simplest, most extreme metaphor we can say cannot misunderstand.
If we,
Well, that's part of what Rachel came to show, that, you know, guys, if you think this is supposed to replace your offerings, this is when it runs out. Do you care? Do you care if in less than 10 years the doors on this church close because all we're using is the endowment fund to supplement and run this church?
because you're not,
Go.
Can I make a quick recommendation?
Yes.
We talk about these congregational meetings, and a lot of the time, we don't actually have a lot of our words written up on the slides. We go away from the PowerPoint a lot, and that's I'm speaking from experience. Over 90% of people are visual learners and not auditory learners, and congregational meetings cover a lot. Over 50% of the congregation normally actually doesn't want to be there, but they're there because it's part of their duty. And if we don't have everything physically written out, they're not going to write it down. They're not going to remember because church isn't about that. And not everything. But
Okay.
a lot of the time we go off of the PowerPoint and like don't follow the PowerPoint by the end, and then nothing was written down that we talked about in the congregation. It's right over their heads. So supplement, over half of them probably did not even hear supplement versus replace because there was so much going on.
it was,
Yeah, was it like
Yes.
Yes.
and was it small print though? Was there a lot written on the
There's a
slides?
big old thing at the very bottom.
We
Yeah.
need big
Okay.
letters.
So I'm just saying that's my feedback from sitting out in the congregation. I don't sit up there, I sit in the back and I get to see it.
So I hear what you're saying. Slides, you also want to minimize the number of words you have on them because otherwise they don't read it because it's just a lot of words.
And that's fine, but it also needs to coincide with what you're saying, and 90% of the time we get off track.
That's because of the
That's what we
questions
do.
that we get.
If we have to put
And a
on,
discussion.
Yes.
if we have to put on 200 slides, just give me a heads up.
No,
No.
not that many.
but I hear what you're saying, but I think the problem, I think the issue at hand is, how do we get those people who have decided not to give or cut their offering in half to go back to what they were doing?
All we can do is say our words.
Let's ask them during the congregational meeting.
We have to be,
I
do
think-
we-
So, I don't know who gives what.
I don't
Well, I mean, I don't either, I'm just saying, let's ask out, just in general.
uh-huh,
If, like, we've heard from people that they have, and if
That
you
they're
have.
gonna clam up.
they're not gonna say.
Well, I'm not expecting them to, it's more like rhetorical.
Right.
Well, how's that any more
I mean,
rhetorical than the
but-
time where I looked out in the congregation and said, it's very obvious that members of this church have stopped giving.
Yeah,
I've already done that, and all it did was make it worse.
okay.
So do we want to hold a special congregation to vote on, to do the extra money? Or do we wanna have,
Well, what's gonna happen if they don't, if we don't have that vote, or if we do and it doesn't pass? How are we gonna stay open, like,
We choose what bills we pay and what we don't.
or we just,
Seriously, I don't
Well,
pay.
that's the case.
Yeah.
That's, you choose which, I mean, kinda like what she was talking about that last Sunday is, this month it's electric bill, next month it's gas bill. These are the choices that you have to make.
Right.
And if
doesn't that
it's,
cost us, sorry,
yeah,
because
it
the
does cost
fees,
us
right?
extra. It will cost us
It will
extra
cost us
because of the fees.
Utilities, you can usually buffer a month and they won't charge you fees, especially if you paid one time for like forever, which we have. So you can buy yourself 30 to 60 days, that's about it.
If we write a very nice letter, will they
But
keep
I
giving us
mean,
the time?
is it something that we wanna gamble? No, obviously not. And if it continues, then we start talking about cutting staff. And then we start talking about, well, this church is not gonna be able to do what it does.
And then we're gonna
We're gonna
close.
start closing.
And I think when you say that out loud about closing, that does get people's attention. The thing that I don't think gets their attention is, like you said, do you care?
Yeah, they don't,
I mean,
it goes right over their heads.
they're not thinking that, I don't think that.
They don't believe it.
Right. Number
Yeah.
one, because we keep saying, you know, and then we come up with more funds to supplement. I'm not doing supplement, I didn't mean that.
Yeah,
I
but based
I just
on
meant-
people breaking their backs doing all these extra activities that,
Right.
that's what it boils down to. That's where the extra funds are coming from.
Right,
A handful of individuals that do care.
right, okay. I think maybe
So-
we need to present something like that, or
Like, give them a list of things they're not gonna get in the next 6 months. I mean, Michelle did say, like, I think if
Right.
you tell people what they're not gonna get, people care about what they get more than anything
Right.
else. I
Right.
mean, humans, as, like, within our just nature, we are selfish. We are supposed to be selfish, it is how humans are. That's why it is so hard to be an altruistic person, and that's why there's so few, because we are in nature selfish. If you tell them we don't get Christmas in this church, if you don't give.
The thing is,
And
you
then,
don't-
but then follow through. I mean, we're,
Yeah.
how-
Yeah.
Well, no, like,
Yeah.
if we run out of money, we are gonna have to follow through. It's not my
Well, I mean,
choice.
if we don't see an increase in offering,
Yeah, I mean,
by the time Christmas comes, I'm gonna say,
no, we're not gonna have the money to do it. So, I mean, we will follow through, because if we don't have the money to have the doors open, then but we're not having service. I mean, like, you need to tell people what they're gonna lose. People still come here who grew up in this church.
Right.
When the two churches merged and became this church, we didn't have people here who still were here when this church was made. And if we tell them they're gonna lose that, it's their childhood.
Mhm.
I don't,
I feel like if you tell people what can be lost, they'll care more.
Nicholas, sorry, Nicholas had his hand up.
I was gonna say, it sounds like we need to take the disciplinary parent approach. Okay, guys, we can't afford this, so this year, we will not be having a Christmas service. We'll also be cutting back on our other special services.
Jerry often, oh, sorry, you're not here.
My last sentence, I swear, like the other said, we need to follow through. Maybe we should say this, this year we should go, by the way, due to cutting costs, there will be no Christmas service this year, period. Just, you can give them a taste, like, here's a taste of what will happen.
So Jerry often references, I don't know if it was a sermon or what, because I don't remember it, but something that Pastor Ward had. And apparently it was a message of, the threat of, if you guys don't give, then we will start with the musicians, and we'll get rid of them, and then the janitor, and then the administrative, and then the pastor. So that was, and Jerry references this a lot of, you know, if people hear that again, because obviously, like, that seems to have made an impact on him at some point, because he
that was
still
before
remembers.
2012. That was like 2009 or 10 when they
Yeah.
were just trying to turn the church around.
So, I don't know if we need to have that kind of plan of, like, first we lose this, then we lose this, and when is it gonna impact you?
well, how about a couple Sundays we just don't have our musicians?
We make a
Well, we've
list.
had that. I mean, musicians might not be their first.
I don't think, I think music is starting to become very important, especially at the 11 o'clock
Yeah.
service.
Yeah. But I think if you, of course, I don't know who would wanna live with this, but if you got rid of the, okay, we can't keep the janitorial service. We need everybody to come in and help
They won't
clean.
come.
They won't come.
No, I know they won't
No,
come,
but
but they're not gonna wanna come
That's
in
exactly
here
it.
and see the way it could look.
Like, do you wanna live in a dirty church, or do you wanna
Right.
come clean? Because we're not gonna have a janitor, and those are the two options.
They would just say, just hire the janitor back that you fired.
Yes, they would.
Yeah,
And
they
I
would.
would say, we
And
can't,
then that's,
If
Yeah,
we
but we
don't
don't
have,
have-
we wouldn't have this problem.
We don't have any money.
Sorry,
yeah.
We would have this problem.
I'm being snarky.
Mhm.
snarky's what we need, it seems, at this point.
But you're right, they would just say, well, you know,
Honestly, it feels like to me, we can't keep being kind. We need to say, we can apologize all we want. We can say we want to be Christian-like, whatever that even
Right.
means to each individual person. But we'd be like, okay, here's your wake-up call. This is the way it is. There's nothing good here. This is what happens. This is what needs to happen. This is what we will do, or this is what will happen. We'd be rough, we'd be blunt, we'd be direct. There's no mistaking. Leave no room for them to say, well, I didn't know this would happen.
Yeah, it needs to be firm but not punishment, 'cause we can't punish people for wanting
Right.
in an economically hard time to not send their
I'm
money.
gonna,
Because it is hard, it just can't be punishment.
I'm gonna start. This church, yes, we're in economic hard times, but this church has always been in financial problems since the day it was incepted.
Yeah, this is just the biggest gap we've ever seen.
Yeah, but this church is always,
That's
No,
what
I
they
know.
don't believe.
which, I've been working with Kelly and Kelly Anthony, we're going through old paperwork. Ever since this church has become Good Shepherd, there's always been financial difficulties.
It's always operated at a deficit.
It always has. church, that their families their grandparents, their parents, them, now their grandchildren, it's not because they're coming because they want to, it's an obligation. I gotta keep it going, they don't care. They just come to church because that's what they've always done every Sunday.
So, congregation meetings?
So yeah, sounds like there's gonna be a congregation meeting.
So-
When?
Well, we have to give, at least 2 weeks notice, per the
Yes.
Constitution.
We have to set an agenda from the council. We have to approve an agenda from the council.
Mid-September.
Okay.
I was gonna say, end of August, early September, is the soonest we can.
Well, the
do it.
first weekend is Labor Day weekend in September, so
That's
on the work. So either the 13th or the 20th.
I think it's that first, the one right after Labor Day.
Monday is Labor Day.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, 13th then?
But I like that idea, should we do the congregational meeting in more relaxed style in terms of not in pews, not, like, does it have to? That's what I was wondering, or even like, it's September, if it's still nice out, we can sit outside, because sometimes September is still 70 degrees around here.
Well, I can tell you,
Yes.
Yes.
the amount of people we had for the informational Sunday, as soon as they find out there's a special congregation
Yeah.
meeting,
They won't.
half of them will show up.
Well,
A
I'm
few,
not-
a few extra ones will come because they don't,
They
if
don't,
they
they
wanna
won't,
vote against,
yeah, they vote
whatever.
against it.
but.
Yeah, it's part of our constitution, we have to.
You have to let them know.
Yeah,
You
but
don't have
if
a
we
choice.
make it more appealing though, and be like, we're gonna have a lunch, like, sit down, eat, we're gonna make this feel a little more fellowship, cause sometimes sitting in, wow, the sanctuary, I'm really tired, I'm sorry, sometimes sitting in the sanctuary and sitting there and just listening to a bunch of people talk with a bunch of like business cards and papers in your hands can just feel very not church and not fellowship meetings. You want people to feel more of a connection to church, sometimes a little bit more relaxed approach is needed.
Can we do
The main
it?
reason we have
I
it in
know.
the sanctuary is because of the screens. There's no
Absolutely.
reason that it has to be in there.
I
In fact, there's a
understand.
lot of churches that choose not to do their business meetings in the sanctuary.
Right.
Maybe
It's
have
a
a
sacred
projector.
space.
Can we do it with the picnic? At the picnic?
No,
It's too
I think it's too
close.
soon.
I mean, it's technically possible, but
It would ruin the vibe of the picnic.
Amen.
It would
yeah,
what?
it would ruin the vibe with the picnic,
Yeah.
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 Or maybe.
Now we have lunch.
Well-
Yeah. No.
Plus,
That's what
plus
I
we're kinda using the picnic as a rally day as well, so, for the Sunday schools.
Let them be
Okay,
happy.
let me put it this way, if you're gonna have a meeting like that, don't have it, cause we have a lot of fun things planned.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't wanna turn people off and let them walk out the door and look, and all this stuff.
Okay. So I'm hearing the 13th of September.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great.
Who do we put, who made the motion, who seconded Ethan?
I did.
I suggested 13. or
Oh, there you go.
Amy did.
Somebody did, somebody
Amy's
did.
got it, she's got it.
She's right over there.
Alright.
So, I have one more note that you told me to write on mine to remind you, and that is, city council.
Oh, yeah.
Data centers.
Yeah. That's,
Monday.
tomorrow.
What does this sound like?
Oh, yeah. the
All right.
dates.
Moving on to another confrontational, or not confrontational, but
Unpleasant.
Hot topic.
emotionally involved topic is data center here in Conneaut. I want to let you know that the Conneaut Visitors Bureau is submitting a letter, has submitted a letter to the city council, voicing their concerns with the data center here in Conneaut. I would like to know if the church should send a similar letter.
I say yes.
I say yes.
I approve.
I think we're part of the community and I think we should be heard.
Okay.
As long as we're all in alignment that we don't want a data center in Conneaut.
Right.
When we start that, we back
Okay,
up.
so-
Yeah.
How many, are we in alignment with not having this? And if you're not, that's fine, if you want it, that's fine too, that's your,
It's personal.
that's your personal choice.
I do not.
I do not.
I don't either.
It's gonna ruin a
Everything.
lot.
Would it work instead of us deciding that it's coming from, that we do like a larger size and have people sign it.
That's tomorrow night.
Oh, it's not
tomorrow
okay.
night.
That'd be great if we had 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, this will probably be on again, continuing to be, I don't think.
True.
Well, okay. So, that brings up another question. Do we wanna have a letter submitted to the city council? Or, since I'm gonna be there anyway for the invocation, do you,
Are you comfortable?
yeah, are you all comfortable with me on behalf of Good Shepherd saying we have concerns?
Yes.
Yes.
And that we're
Yeah.
supporting the moratorium proposal, because that's really what's being discussed on Monday, right?
If you say on behalf of the church council,
I was
Good
gonna say,
Church council.
I
because
would say that.
don't,
Because we're-
don't
because we're
commit
not-
ourselves
Make a
that,
statement for the entire
yeah,
church.
don't make a statement.
I know technically we make statements and stuff in the
Yeah.
entire church, and that's why they voted us on the council.
Yeah.
It was something that edges towards political, I think, avoid bringing the congregation into it with the amount of hot water we have here already.
Well, let's back up. What's being discussed Monday is whether or not to accept a proposed moratorium to allow the city of Conneaut a year to research whether or not we want a data center. It's not to say we don't want a data
Right.
center. So whether we say it's the church supporting the moratorium or whether it's the council, I don't think it's irrelevant because there's no decision being made.
Correct.
So I'm comfortable with him saying the church.
Okay.
Does that make,
Uh-huh.
okay. I'd love to go myself to speak, but I don't make smash burgers.
Me
I would like to know, I want to know when and where this is happening.
well, you guys are doing very well at the smash burgers, I hear about it.
They're so good.
Where are these meetings held? Can I just?
City council meeting, it's online, it is online on YouTube, I don't think it's live streamed.
It's not live.
But it is posted online. It is in the city council building, second floor in the council chambers.
Did they move Monday's meeting? Because
They did
they're
not.
Okay, there was rumors.
There was rumors.
Okay.
Nobody really knows how that rumor got
I
started.
mean, I'm looking at
Hey,
the.
There is not.
Right there.
Somebody
They did
said
not
should,
know.
and then somebody went out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, there was a post
6 o'clock.
yesterday about the meeting still held in the city
I
chambers.
downloaded it, I can go get it.
Probably have to be there for North Jackson.
You probably have to be at 3:30, 4 o'clock. Get a seat.
Okay. Any other new business for the good of the congregation?
I've got one more thing to bring up, sorry. When we were talking about backing up, when we were talking about the church closing, needing to raise money or needing to have more money, I talked to Pastor last week about the idea that the things we might lose, one of the things that we lost as a church, and I don't know how important it is to everybody, but the rummage sale that we had every year. Okay. I don't know if everybody in this room agrees, but I miss that rummage sale.
There's a lot of work.
I know it was a lot of work.
We got rid of a lot of stuff.
Yes. Anyway, I told Pastor that I'd be willing to take that on for next year. If we think that it's worth doing. Can you get me get the council numbers of how much we've made in the last, because we haven't had one in
We haven't had
several
one.
years.
Since before COVID.
Right.
Stacy probably gives you those numbers before.
I would say it was
Oh, okay.
$2,000 to $2,500.
I mean,
And it went
is,
Christian Ed.
It went
Is
to
that-
Christian, yeah.
but is that worth it? I mean, what do we need to look at to make it worthwhile?
All right. I got it written down along with my janitorial
Well,
supplies.
that comes along with bingo, Pastor?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, we were talking about that too.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fall, we need to get this in place before fall hits, so we know what we're doing.
Right.
We can't do Tuesday anymore.
Nope.
No,
No.
but this is what I want. We're gonna need help with it. We're gonna need a committee, we're gonna need a set of people that are willing, maybe not every week, maybe you can rotate out. It's gonna help run the bingo. That the money
then you gotta figure out what's your cut and what's your.
True, but I mean, have it here and,
Yeah.
I mean, it could be,
you know, people want it, I don't know, I'm just saying.
I don't
you
know if I'm willing to take on community.
Yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
I wasn't thinking about sharing the profits, just
Oh,
Come on, give us some stuff. We'll take
getting
it.
the donations and help.
I like that.
actually, I said that community rummage thing with the one church, if you got like 3 churches, including us together, you wouldn't have to like just decide we split the profits. You could literally do like how neighborhoods do huge rummage sales. They're all in the same place, but
right,
you each get your own money
Right.
in sales. So it'd be
Right.
like everyone, the 3 churches pick a place like, you know, maybe the community hall or somewhere big open outside the weather. Just be like, okay, we're all here, but we're each doing our own thing.
right.
Sure.
You mean it's better
Let's just
than-
think about just
Yeah.
this one for right now.
I mean, it's just
Bringing it back, I agree. Walk people around.
Yeah, you got it.
Rather than
Alright, anything else?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Almost.
Second.
Oh, I do have a question.
Not that, yes.
Oh, we got one more, darn it.
Oh, the focus areas.
Focus areas,
Question?
Lutheran ministry team, how are we doing with that?
Yes. Working on it, not working on there.
Working
What does it
on
say?
it.
Previously announced situation continues, but I have restarted counseling and therapy sessions. The stream still needs to be appointed. What else do I know?
That was, oh yeah, that was in your minutes, right?
Yeah.
My report.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your report, I mean.
I have a question for you. Ms. Hawk has agreed to learn about being a backup for Stacy. I'm curious if rather you would be a backup for Chris on the income side rather than the treasurer side.
Okay.
Only because we see the need potentially
We do.
sooner.
Yeah,
We do.
yeah, I mean, I just feel.
I'll get you some
It's a
information,
training, it's
of
all
course.
stuff like that.
Yeah, but I'll get you the information.
Okay.
Okay.
Guess I'm not listening.
Being
No,
strategic.
it's not. Additional signatories. I need those who are gonna do that to get together and do that. That would be appreciated. Thank you. I want to thank you all for adopting the continuing resolutions. I will now be able to draft an evaluation form with the executive committee. Will comment on that and then start reviewing our employees. And we're always working on communication. Please tell people, come talk to me if they have a problem.
Right.
I mean, seriously, you know, I heard nothing, not a peep about, the services last Sunday. And to be honest, I don't think I heard anything about Pete directly about the one service with the bishop. So, he's a Pete, talk to me. I can't work with them unless they come talk. Okay? And I will not be in the triangle. Okay? Anything else for the good of the congregation or the church?
Just remember, D-Day's coming up, all hands on deck.
Yep. If
Oh,
they,
okay.
they can volunteer and give their time and talents as much as they can. Yes.
I know, I don't wanna
No, you guys.
delay the meeting. One of the, I've been asked a couple of times where we stand on the solar panels,
Yes.
like how we're doing as far as,
I literally just printed the electric bill and look at that
okay.
this past week.
Is there any way that we can do that, like in the monthly echo, like say this month,
We saved this
we
much.
saved this much, or,
might be better doing it last month, we say.
well, last month,
Yeah.
or, yeah.
Compare last year to this year.
I'm just asking that because I don't know what to tell people as far as, you know, how
That's a
we're
fair
doing on
question.
this.
Yes and no. I mean, we can, I don't have the data.
Yeah.
The problem still exists not connected to the iPad or to our system. They're working, they're doing their job, but they're not sending out any information because that's not connected yet. That is a conversation with Opal that I will probably have about how to connect them. That iPad out there that's always on that solar screen, every once in a while needs to be refreshed, but it should be showing you what you're using, what you're producing, and then if you scroll through it, it'll say what you're saving in CO2 and stuff like that. So,
Right.
Yeah, but not money.
But I
but
mean,
not money, no. Unless they want money for it, and that's a Stacy's question.
okay.
If they want
I
money
was-
for producing, then.
I think they're,
Well, even if we can just say we're producing, you know, it gives somebody some information so they know that we're,
all right,
you know.
Yeah.
I'll add that to the list.
I was also just gonna say on that, like, I think we should refrain from mentioning how much money we're saving on something,
Yeah.
how we're trying to get people
Right.
to get more money, that's all.
Well,
That's part of our,
It is a
yeah.
double-edged sword, it absolutely is.
So we
Yeah.
want you
You
to
see, right, but
we invested,
Doing this to try to save us.
but we invested $120,000,
Right.
and they wanna know if we're getting a return on
Right.
that.
I understand that, I also just
That's
think it
different.
poses
Yeah.
It's showing that we're trying to be making the best financial choices by putting some money up front that saves us money in the long term. And they wanna make sure that that is actually followed, that is actually the case.
You could just put it in as a footnote so they don't obsess over it.
And that's why I brought this to you.
So you're saying this is up to Opal to fix this? What is the time period for them to come out and make this so they're all talking?
That's a good question. I'm still not convinced that we have the right meter in, but
I mean, right here for,
for our thing, but that's a,
are we,
that's a different, I have to have a conversation with Eli and Opal.
okay.
And the tech people will probably walk me through how to do this. So
Okay.
that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And we have not yet, because of my understanding, because of the illuminating dragging their feet, we are not yet selling our back to the grid.
There is a credit on our bill, that's why I printed the last bill, and it's complicated.
Yeah.
That's-
Again, that's why I'm not convinced.
That, I believe is correct.
Right.
Okay, and that would fall on Opal to come out and fix this.
No, it'd probably fall on the illuminating company to fix the meter, and Opal to fix
The
why,
emergencies.
yeah. To fix why we're not getting what we're supposed to be getting, what we've been quoted to be getting. So, unless we are using more power out, so.
I don't think so either.
And I promise this will be the last one. I promise you. Detroit Street.
Yeah, oh boy.
I know.
So.
It's gotta be brought up.
I know. So it was discussed at last Sunday's service. What the information that I had the day before that from Chris Krasinski is it would need entirely new electric. So that's an additional cost to that. So we're still talking about 150 just to rehab it. Probably closer to 220 in order to tear down and rebuild.
Well, is that something we should bring up at the congregational meeting?
Yeah.
Good question.
We need to figure out what we're gonna do with these, people keep asking, we
Yeah.
gave you $100,000, what are you guys doing with it?
It's
Right.
investment right now, growing.
Well,
Well,
Right.
growing.
I mean,
but they want,
They just-
again, you said you were gonna do this, you
Right.
haven't done it.
I'm, so, what
go
can we
ahead.
do?
How much?
Nicholas, hang on. What can we do? There's only so much that, we really can't afford to refresh it.
No.
Right.
Okay? The ground is more valuable than the house.
Right.
Definitely.
Amen.
Right,
Right.
Selling it is probably the best idea.
right.
And then using those funds that we sold it for to help continue to keep this church operational. Would I like to move here? Yes. Would I like the church to do something for me? Yes.
Yes.
Of course. I'm sinful.
Right,
But
we
I'm
were
also
all
not
excited
expecting
about
the
that too,
church to
yeah.
do this.
Well, I
You
think,
know, they agreed to do a parsonage, but I cannot in good conscience let the church die for my own housing.
Right.
Well, and I wouldn't let them invest $100,000 in something to make it half livable and then
Right.
it's not a wise investment.
Correct.
It's looking worse and worse, so.
So, I mean,
you know.
there is, according to Ron, and Ron Young is in, talks with the neighbor, not talks, but he, every once in a while, has a conversation while he's out mowing with the neighbors about them buying it. I don't know how much they're offering, but I don't, and that's a decision for the, no, that's a decision for council.
well, council brings to the congregation, I think it's something to bring to the congregation.
I can't remember if the congregation has to sell it or not. Go ahead, Michelle.
So, I actually did talk to the gentleman who's interested in buying the property. I mean, they moved that sheds, they're keeping up the property, they're
Just
cutting.
mowing the grass over
He's
here.
even come over here, very nice gentleman. They want to buy it.
Mhm,
He's waiting for us to make an offer to him.
mhm.
What he told me is, you give me an offer and I'll say, you know. He's even come up with two scenarios. He sounds like he's very savvy about how to do this stuff. He goes, you guys are a nonprofit, so it's gonna maybe, it might screw up your income thing. He goes, if I have to, we can do the price of the property as monthly donations until it's paid off, so you don't have to claim it as income. So he's really interested. He's just waiting for us to decide if we want to sell it. And he would like first thing and make an offer to him and he'll say yes or no. His family owned this all property, they want to get all this property back.
They're playing Monopoly.
Who's that? Who was that?
I don't know the last name.
I don't know the last name.
Very,
It's the person who lives next to the church.
It's not hard, is it?
I don't know.
I think it is, I think it is,
Bradley?
I think it is. That name sounds familiar. But I think that's what he said his name was. But, he's waiting for us, he's very interested in it.
But
And I appreciate the fact, Pastor, that you're very mindful and very conscientious about not putting the church into debt or taking care of your housing, but it is our responsibility to take care of you.
Well, you pay me a housing allowance and it's up to
Okay,
me to figure out that from there.
So,
That's what taking care of me is.
It's part of this package.
this is something I want to throw out here just for everybody to think about. I think we should sell the property, this is my personal feeling. I think that as a church, we should be thinking about purchasing, taking some of the money from the sell of the property, putting a down payment, purchasing a parsonage where pastor would make, his housing allowance would make the payments, and then the other part go into the general fund. This gets our pastor taken care of.
It would be more, you can't do it that way, but I understand what you're saying.
You can't do it that way? The church,
If we buy a parsonage, we own a parsonage. The pastor does not make payments for a parsonage.
okay, but,
He could pay rent, so to speak, or.
That's different, that is
we would
different.
just not, we would put him in the parsonage, but what we would do is put him in the parsonage, but his housing allowance would be cut. That money we could put towards, theoretically, towards the payment of the parsonage.
Well, yeah, that's how it would work.
Yeah, that's
But
what,
one's capital, one's expense.
Right.
Again, more complicated than that.
okay, I appreciate.
But can we digest all of this information by the time we have a congregational meeting? I mean, that would be,
I think on the congregation meeting part, it's just going to have to be,
Sell the house or not.
yes, and,
right,
because it's all financial related, you know.
right.
But
But I,
again, that's only gonna be a stopgap.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to solve the problem, so I don't know, you know, I know someone will bring it up if we don't.
right.
But, again, it's not,
Looks
Oh,
like
it's not necessarily the answer, but I'm just asking if, that we should consider that that could be something that would pertain to is the church gonna close? How are we gonna keep it open? I mean,
Detroit Street has nothing to do with whether the doors stay open on this church.
okay,
And if that's what people think, is if we sell that to help, that is not the answer.
okay.
That's as simple as we have to put it.
Sure.
I was just gonna say, as part of this congregational meeting, could it be like about liquidating assets?
What assets would we liquidate?
Huh?
What other assets?
That's what we liquidate.
The house, I don't know, I mean, what about the other parking lot, you know?
That would be selling all that property.
I mean, I'm sure that's all different lots,
It
right?
is,
Yeah.
there's like two different lots.
No, 3.
Okay, I was right the first time.
Yeah. The house is on one right next between the house and Grove Street is one, and then the parking lot and the big lawn area is its own.
Yeah.
So I would like to. Well, that's
I'd like to keep it.
Yeah, would we keep
Yeah.
one lot?